Many homes like this one here are covered with blue tarp. Everyone, including us and the emergency crews, were told to stay back a quarter-mile away. For the meantime, the plane still remains on the mountain about 6 miles in that direction. Police officers from Bristol, Tennessee swarmed the building behind me as the judge read the jury's verdict. Out of 115 voting machines that went out throughout Sullivan County, one broke down. People have described flames shooting up as high as 200 feet and the heat so intense, melting the facades of nearby homes.
I came out on the porch this morning and the flames were really just shooting in the air really high.
It was a typical Thanksgiving morning at first for Clifford Montgomery. That's until noise led him outside.
I thought maybe it was the oil company that was on fire because the flames were so high.
But it was, in fact, Cortram Lumber Company. Montgomery says fires here are nothing new.
They've always had fires at one time or another here. Seemed like once a year there was always coming out.
Fire officials confirm it's nothing unusual for fires to break out in companies like this.
They had sawdust bins, which one of them still standing right there. Over the years, we've had quite a few fires in sawdust bins.
But this was not a small fire. When crews arrived, the building was fully engulfed, flames shooting through the roof and windows in the center of the building.
Right there. Just saying, there's a little fire right there at the end of that building. Trying to knock it down real quick.
One of the guards said he walked through the middle of the building at 8:10 this morning and didn't see anything.
The fire officials say no one was inside and no one was hurt, but families were forced out of two homes.
I grabbed a picture of my sister and some important papers and took off.
It may have been just an old building to some, but
it's a large part of the area. It's a lot of parts of the history of the Bristol area.
And to Jerry Cook, who spent more than 10 years working here,
remembering what, things I've done, people I've worked with, places I've worked with, seeing them burnt, laying on the ground. It's just it's just really rough.
Families in these homes were evacuated for only a few hours today and were allowed to return back around lunchtime. Now, firefighters tell me that they're going to remain out here all night long, watering down the hotspots. Live in Bristol, Tennessee, Darius Radzius, News Channel 11. Drivers on guard after reports of a police impersonator on I-81.
My whole family drives on I-81 every single day. I'm worried about the safety of my friends and my family.
Virginia State Police continue their investigation into two reports of someone driving around posing as one of their own.
We take it very seriously anytime somebody identifies themselves as a police officer.
Police say the poser did not have a blue light or a siren on. Instead, he flashed his high beams to stop the car. And when he got out, he told the driver he was an off-duty police officer.
Investigators believe the driver's questions scared away the imposter. Sergeant Michael Conroy says officers driving unmarked cars expect drivers to be more leery.
As long as they take their time pulling over and acknowledge the officer, it's never a problem to identify ourselves as a police officer.
Motorist Shauna Hawkins looks for certain things.
I'll look for a patch, their uniform, a hat, something, all the radios and stuff in their vehicles.
Sergeant Conroy pulled up behind us in his unmarked car, so I had to ask him if he was for real.
I'm in uniform. My vehicle's equipped with lights, wig wags, a siren. Somebody who's an imposter probably won't have all of those things.
He showed us his badge and his ID, so he had me convinced. But he says when in doubt, you can call 911 or pound 77 for state police. In Washington County, Virginia, Darius Radzius, News Channel 11.
The worse the business gets, the better our business is.
More than 100 workers at STL Distribution in Johnson City are working nonstop.
We sell a lot of Bibles. Bible business has been good. We sell a lot of Christian literature, hardback books that people can get and put in their library.
The business of faith is one of a few things that thrive during economic hardships.
There are other products that are known as counter-cyclical products, and some people think that alcoholic products do very well.
Glenn Bailey says his products are timeless.
The Old Testament, dates back thousands of years, and so the products that we sell that are biblically based aren't the kind of trendy things.
Business is so good that it's hard to keep these Bibles on these shelves. As a matter of fact, while businesses are downsizing or even closing, STL is looking to expand.
STL also distributes books worldwide with warehouses on 4 continents and offices in 50 countries.
The largest, fastest growing area of Christianity in the world today is in India.
Pastor Ron Murray says in times of uncertainty, people turn to things which they're familiar and comfortable. He says people find it in church.
You get in touch with the unchanging love of God.
And in spiritual books. In Johnson City, Darius Radzius, News Channel 11. People aren't the only ones who get themselves in trouble, at least in Unicoi County.
I had an alligator that I had to hold in jail one time.
Deputies found it in a creek with its mouth duct taped, and they even had some jailbirds.
We had some Japanese chickens we found one time out in the wilderness area.
Their latest arrest, a pig.
The pig had actually got out of its pen and was rooting up people's yards.
This wasn't the porker's first offense.
In fact, a few weeks ago, one of my deputies picked it up, the pig, and drove it around for about an hour in the back of her cruiser until she could find the owners.
The pig clearly doesn't like to be penned up or jailed. As soon as it got into this yard, it tried to dig out.
Actually dug down to the footer.
Just like any criminal, the sheriff needed to figure out what's next for the pig, but he couldn't treat it the same way.
Of course, there was no pig court, so we had to deal with it in other ways.
He found it a good home with Bart Ray. He named it Wilbur Harris, the last name after the sheriff. Ray says Wilbur will fit in, especially with his donkey that also has a similar criminal history.
He's not been charged formally, but I think he's been on a couple of pursuits.
Bart's had the pig for more than 24 hours.
No escapes as of yet. We've caught him hiding out there a time or two.
Maybe it's just happier there with so much room to roam. And with the company of another pig. Well, maybe eventually.
He's a little bit jealous of him from the start, but I think he'll get along with him.
Now the Flag Pond community is resting peacefully.
The neighborhood's happy because the pig who was causing trouble is gone.
In Unicoi County, Darius Radzius, News Channel 11.